Hey, so we've worked our way through the 5 steps of your first phone call, and now we wanted to give you a few tips, right? How to make these first calls, or if you're a week or two in, how to make these calls more successful. So, obviously, learning the 5 steps and the approaches and the words in there is going to help you. But if you're just sitting there thinking, where do I start? Probably the best place to start first is just focus on trying to stay on the phone longer, right? And so fight that urge to sell your way off the phone or to take an easy push off and just get off the phone, right? So, okay, it sounds easy, but how do you do it? Well, there's a few easy ways, right? Questions, right? You have to get the questions out and get the decision maker talking. So a few tips would be, you know, if they're push on the phone, hit them with, hey, just one last question, right? Almost everybody will give you the opportunity to ask one last question, and then you get into it. You might ask actually one, two, three, or four more questions, but you got to keep them on the phone. And so if you don't have the key piece of data that you're trying to get on this first phone call, and that is how many truckloads a week do they usually need help finding capacity for, that's a great one last question to get out there and get that piece of data so you can get your qualification done and then try to keep going from there. Another one is if they hit you early on with a push-off and you're not quite sure what to say yet, just in a real calm voice, say something along the lines of, man, it sounds like you have a reason for saying that. And just be quiet. And you'll be surprised what they open up and start saying to you. So at the end of the day, there's a reason why we go through the 5 steps. And it's because we got to get people to invest in the call a little bit themselves, right? If we get right on the call and ask for business, they can tell us no right away. They've got no time invested. The more time they invest in the call with us, the more likely they are to open up and tell themselves that they made a good decision for being on the phone with me, and we sound like somebody that they might want to do business with. So first tip out of the gate as you're getting going or trying to figure out how to have more successful calls is figure out how to lengthen your call a little bit as much as you can. Obviously you got to get off at some point. We're not calling and taking them until they hang up on us, but just lengthen your calls and get them to invest some time with you. And you do that by asking some really good questions. Use the, hey, one last question if you don't mind tactic. That'll keep your call longer for sure. But at the end of the day, you got to fight the urge to get off the phone and have conversations if you want to lead yourself to a close. So until next time.